Rescue workers in Moore, Oklahoma continue to work on finding survivors in the aftermath of Monday's tornado. Armed with cadaver dogs and searchlights, they continue to comb through the wreckage to ensure no one remains buried in the rubble.
Well, right now they're just beginning to let residents back into the areas officially to begin to pick up the pieces of their lives. We've seen residents in certain areas of the storm damage that have been going in and getting their things for the past 24 hours or so, but there were some areas, those hardest hit areas, that were closed off even to the residents. And so today, just now, as we're speaking, the residents are being allowed back into their homes. They're being supervised and watched, and hopefully they're staying safe as they're going back to their property. Some of them seeing it for the first time. A lot of them are getting those essentials. Remember, people that left their homes left in a panic, in a hurry, in an emergency, and don't have maybe their long-term medications or other things that are necessary for them, even if they're not going to be living in that home any longer. So that's what's going on at the storm damage area right now.
The physical safety element, that even if some of these structures are still standing, they're not necessarily safe.
Right, and there are electrical wires all over the place. They're laying on the streets, and at some point the electricity crews are going to be going through and trying to remove them. Occasionally there will be wires that they turn on for whatever reason, but yeah, you don't want people in the area when those things are happening. There's a lot more dangers that are in a storm damage area than one might consider, more than rusty nails. You know, all of the toxic substances that people store in their garages. I spoke with a first responder yesterday who had on steel-toed boots, but she stepped in a puddle of acid and ate through the steel-toed boots.
Very often in the wake of these types of tragedies, we see looting, we see other types of disarray. Have there been any reports of that?
You know, there have been few and far between. That's just really not the Oklahoma standard, so I'm happy to hear that we haven't had a lot of that. We've also had a lot of security and protection from the National Guard and other officials that were in town from a series of deadly storms we'd had just the day before. And so the security has been pretty tight, which has been frustrating for families who want to get in and get their things and look and see what they have left. I tell you, though, I spoke with a gentleman just a few hours ago. He's in his 60s, and his name is Curtis Snyder, and he weathered the storm in his home. He has no roof on his home, but he refused to leave and still refuses to leave. Keep in mind, this storm was 48 hours ago. I mean, it was Monday afternoon, and here we are on Wednesday. He has not left his home. He does not have electricity. He is drinking bottled water in his living room and eating the food that he has that's left.